Hey, welcome to this Brevo versus ActiveCampaign comparison review. My name is Robin and I've spent years working closely with both Brevo and ActiveCampaign, and I've helped countless users understand how to get real results from each platform. So hopefully I can help you too today by finding out who's the better platform for your situation. So in this video I'll discuss where to find the best deal when signing up for either Brevo or ActiveCampaign. I'm also going to discuss the pricing, so who offers the cheapest tiers, who offers the cheapest product. I'm going to discuss who offers the best free plan, who offers the best newsletter features, email marketing automation features, opt-in form features, and the CRM and sales features. So let's start with Brevo. So long story short, I was able to get a discount code, a 50% discount code for you guys for the starter and the standard tier. So then we have ActiveCampaign. So sadly, ActiveCampaign doesn't give out discount codes. Also not during Black Friday. At least they haven't done so these past few years. So they are probably not doing it this year either. But I do have an alternative offer for you, which is if you use my link to sign up for ActiveCampaign, I can offer you 6 months of free personalized email support directly from me. So first, an important distinction to understand before you compare these two platforms on pricing, and that is that ActiveCampaign bases its price on the number of contacts in your account. So if we increase this number to, let's say, 10,000, you can see that the price increases as well for every tier. Brevo, on the other hand, bases its price on the number of emails you send. So right now we're on 10,000 emails per month for the starter tier. If I increase the number of emails per month, you can see the monthly price increases. And as you can see, the number of contacts in your account, so 500,000 of maximum contacts in the starter tier with 40,000 emails, stays the same. As you can see, if we increase this number, the number of contacts stays the same, but the emails vary depending on what tier you choose. And that's how the price of Brevo is calculated. So I created this graph for the comparison. So the blue bar and the red bar is ActiveCampaign Pro and ActiveCampaign Plus for the red bar. And Brevo is the yellow bar and the green bar. So let me explain. So what did I do? So I chose the Pro plan, 10,000 subscribers, so up to 10,000 subscribers, which is $419, which is the blue bar over here. Then we have the Plus plan, which is $239 for 10,000 contacts, which is the red bar over here. And then if you visit ActiveCampaign's pricing page, you can see the multiplier here. So for email sends, so if you're on the Plus plan, as you can see, you can send up to 10 times your subscriber limit. So in this case, we chose 10,000 subscribers, which means we can send up to 100,000 emails. And here for the Pro plan, we can send up to 12 times our contact limit, which ends up being 120,000 emails per month. So we have the 100,000 emails per month, which was the Plus plan of ActiveCampaign, and we have the 120,000 emails per month, which is the Pro plan of ActiveCampaign. So what did I do? I chose the standard plan of Brevo. I took the price of 100,000 emails per month for the monthly plan, which is $129 per month, which is the green bar you can see over here. And if we want to send 120,000 emails per month, we have to pick the 150,000 emails per month option because there is no 120,000 emails per month option here. So we end up with $169 per month, which is the yellow bar you can see over here. And as you can see in this graph, ActiveCampaign can be in some cases double the monthly price of Brevo. And this is just one example, of course, but the short answer in terms of who offers the cheapest product, Brevo is far more affordable than ActiveCampaign. But the trade-off is that ActiveCampaign delivers a more advanced automation system, as you'll see later on in this video. But the bottom line is basically your choice depends on what matters most for your business needs. And another good thing to know is that Brevo also offers email credits, which can be useful if you send newsletters infrequently. And good to know is that these credits never expire. So here you can see the pay-as-you-go emails, and you can see what the options are. So you have 5,000 emails up to 1 million emails. And obviously, the more emails you buy at once, the cheaper the price per email. ActiveCampaign, on the other hand, doesn't offer email credits. So in terms of who offers the cheapest product, who offers the best pricing, that is obviously Brevo. Then next, the free plan. So who offers the best free plan? That's a very simple answer. ActiveCampaign only offers a 14-day free trial, as you can see. Brevo, on the other hand, offers a full free forever plan. Obviously, there are some limitations what you can do inside that free plan, but there is a forever free plan. So in terms of who's the winner of the best free plan, that's obviously Brevo as well. So let's first take a look at crafting a newsletter inside ActiveCampaign. You're going to go to email. You're going to click on create a campaign. I'm going to click on next. So we're going to enter a subject line, a pre-header. You can tweak the from name, the from email address. We have to select a list. You can add some custom conditions to send to a particular segment. Here we have some tracking and automations. So for example, I can enable Google Analytics, I can customize it, or the open and read tracking tool. So this automate and the customize button over here. So this is pretty cool. Let's say if I click here on automate, so I can create an automation right here and there while creating this newsletter. So whenever someone opens this newsletter, as you can see over here, start this automation when contact reads email new campaign, which is this email we're currently creating. So this is something Brevo doesn't offer. Anyhow, let's continue with the email designer here. As you can see, we have some templates over here. We have some basic templates in this tab over here. As you can see, there are also templates made for me specifically in our brand kit. I can also start a newsletter from scratch, or I can build one with AI. So let's say we want to start from scratch. So this is the newsletter builder, and it basically works as a drag and drop builder. You can just drag and drop the elements you want in your newsletter onto the newsletter editor. We can also add some structures over here. As you can see, we can edit the global settings, so the message width. We can use HTML. We can add a product catalog. So basically, ActiveCampaign offers you everything you need for a great newsletter builder. So let's have a look at Brevo. We're going to click here on marketing, campaigns, click here on create a campaign. We just want to create an email. You can choose to A/B test an emails, subject lines, or email content. In this case, we're just going to go for the regular email. So this is a pretty cool thing. Brevo lets you organize your emails with folders, especially if you're sending similar emails every single year. So for example, you can group your, for example, Black Friday emails in the same folder, so you can quickly find them again next year. That's just one example. I'm going to click here on create a campaign. Here we have to add our recipients, a subject line, and here we can design our email. So here we have some basic templates we can choose from, and we also have some ready to use templates, as you can see over here. We can take a look at these templates before actually using it. We can click the back button. We can also just start from scratch. And here we can choose whether or not we want to use the drag and drop editor or something else. I'm going to choose the drag and drop editor in this case. And it works pretty similar to ActiveCampaign. We have the elements over here, which we can just drag and drop onto the newsletter editor, similar to ActiveCampaign, as you can see over here. Again, here also we have the HTML block. We can add products to our newsletter. One cool feature here is that Brevo offers different sections. So I can just grab a section like this and add it to my newsletter, which immediately gives a pretty good vibe here. Same here, I can just drag and drop this onto the newsletter. And there are many different sections or elements, however you want to call this, here in this list. So obviously there are some differences. For example, ActiveCampaign offers a timer. Just as an example, I don't think Brevo offers something like that, a timer. But those are just like those tiny differences. And then when you're ready with designing your email, over here we have some options. We can send the email right now, so immediately. We can schedule it for later. We can send at the best time, or we can send in batches. So this feature, ActiveCampaign doesn't have this feature. If we go to ActiveCampaign and click here on next, and over here we have the send immediately button, or we can schedule the email. So we can use the predictive send, which is similar to Brevo's send at best time, or we can select a delivery date and time in the future, which is similar to the schedule for later, but it doesn't offer the send in batches, which is handy if you want to manage your website traffic. So now let's talk about email lists, and let's start with Brevo. So Brevo allows you to create different lists, so you can click on create a list, and you can also organize your list with folders, so you can create a new folder and organize your list that way. And what is also pretty helpful is that if you click on these three dots here, go to list settings. Over here you can set default from names from email, default footer, specifically for this list. And again, this is helpful if you are communicating with different audiences and you don't want to mix different from names, different from emails. So you don't want to make the mistake of accidentally using a different from email sending to a different audience, for example. That might confuse them and it might even turn in a higher spam rate. So same as Brevo, ActiveCampaign also allows you to create multiple lists. You can just simply click on add a list and create your list. But if we look at the list settings inside ActiveCampaign, you can see that it doesn't offer the same options as Brevo does. So for example, the default from name, the default from email, that isn't possible inside ActiveCampaign. Also, there is no option to create folders inside ActiveCampaign for your list. It is just the list. So in terms of who's the winner for the newsletter features, I'm leaning slightly towards Brevo. So it's not like a big win, but I must say I lean slightly towards Brevo. So let's now have a look at the email marketing automation features. So this is ActiveCampaign's automation builder. So this is the automation editor. And to begin an automated workflow, we have to select a starting trigger. So we click here on add a start trigger. And this is basically the event that initiates the automation. So this could be a new subscriber joining your list, someone opening an email, clicking a link, making a purchase, reaching a specific date, or basically anything else. And having a wide range of trigger options is useful because it allows you to precisely target your audience the way you want it. And as you can see, these are all the trigger options ActiveCampaign offers us. It's a total of 34 different starting triggers you can choose from. So this is Brevo's email automation editor. And over here at this tab, we have the triggers Brevo offers us. So again, when a contact is added to the list, you can start the automation. But as you can see, there are many other options over here. So the total number of different triggers Brevo offers us is 22. So in other words, ActiveCampaign just offers a larger list of options. So again, 34 options, Brevo 22 options. And having a larger list of options gives you just more flexibility in terms of how you want to automate your different marketing processes. Then beyond the triggers, we also have actions. And here we have the entire list of actions Brevo offers us. So for example, you can send an email. That's one of the most common examples. Another common example is the time delay. It's under rules here. So you can add a time delay here. So for example, after 1 day, we want to send another email. That's just a very common way of creating an email automation system. So then another email, as you can see over here. So if we take a look at ActiveCampaign again, so for example, we have to select the starting trigger here. So let's say when a contact submits a form, we want to start this automation. I'm gonna click on save. So start the automation when a contact submits any form. I'm gonna click here on the plus. And now the most common example, similar to Brevo, is send an email, save and design later. Then you can add a wait action, wait for a set period of time, for example, 1 day, but you can also choose one of these other options over here. And then you can send another email if you want. So these are the most common examples, of course. So if we take a look at Brevo, they offer us 22 different actions. So this list and this list. ActiveCampaign, on the other hand, if we take a look at ActiveCampaigns, all the actions we can add to our automation, which is this list over here in the sending tab, in the workflow tab, in the contacts tab, in the CRM tab. And then we also have the different apps we can use and integrate with the automation builder inside ActiveCampaign. So if we exclude the apps, there's a total of 37 different actions we can use and integrate or add to our automation editor here, which is almost double the number of actions inside Brevo. So the winner for the email marketing automation features is obviously ActiveCampaign. It just offers more flexibility. So if you want to make sure you're fully flexible in terms of automating your tasks inside your business, ActiveCampaign just offers the better product here. So let's continue with the opt-in form features. So if you click inside ActiveCampaign on website and then forms, here you can create your forms. So you have two options. You can start from scratch. If you click here on start from scratch, you have four options here. If you want to create a pop-up form, you have to choose the model form builder. If you just want to create an embedded form, you have to choose the inline form. And if you want to create a form with its AI builder, you can use this bar over here. So for example, if I say create me a nice form, and if I click here on the button, the active intelligence is now in action. In the meantime, let me show you Brevo's form builder. So we're gonna close this window here. We're going to go to marketing and then forms. So we have several options over here. You can tweak the unsubscribe form. You can also tweak the preference form, so the profile update form. You can link that in the footer of your emails. But in this case, we're going to look at the sign up form creation. So we're going to click here on sign up form. And here we have two options. So the pop-up form, similar as inside ActiveCampaign, and the embedded form. So let me first show you the embedded form test, click form. So this is the builder of Brevo, as you can see here. So Brevo doesn't offer an AI builder to create a form. You have to design the form yourself. So there are plenty of options here though. You can tweak the text, you can tweak the background, the container, the button, the spacing. There's no CSS option here though. So this is the embedded form inside ActiveCampaign. So this is what the AI builder created, and we can now further customize it the way we like. So there's a lot of styling options over here. So we can tweak the form background, the borders, the padding, the fonts, the background of the button. There's the thank you message, the form actions. And then over here we have all the different elements we can add to the form. And it's a pretty long list, especially if you also take a look at the account fields inside ActiveCampaign. If you have a business to business business, these might be handy for you. You can also add custom fields, and there's a lot of different options over here, and also an option for a hidden field. So Brevo also has a pretty big list of options, but the list of options isn't as big as inside ActiveCampaign. So in terms of who's the winner for embedded forms, I would say ActiveCampaign comes out ahead here. But then we also have the pop-up forms. So for example, if you don't know what a pop-up form is, you will see a pop-up form in a few seconds. And yeah, there is the pop-up form, which is basically a form that pops up after a few seconds or after someone scrolls a percentage of your page. So if you want to create a pop-up inside Brevo, you're going to choose the pop-up form here. But there is one big downside within Brevo, and that is that the pop-ups are only available if you're on the professional plan. But anyhow, let's have a look at the pop-up form. Let's create a pop-up form. So as you can see here, we have some options. So set a delay. So after how many seconds do you want the pop-up to appear when someone visits your website? You can also create an exit intent pop-up. So when the visitor is about to leave, then you want to show the pop-up. It's also a very common use case for using pop-ups. And then there are some more settings, as you can see over here. We also have some segmentation settings. So for example, if you only want to show that pop-up on specific pages, and this is the form builder for the pop-up. So we can just simply drag and drop elements onto the pop-up if we want. If we click on the actual pop-up, we can also tweak some styling over here, as you can see. We can tweak the font, the colors. Then inside ActiveCampaign, if we want to create a pop-up, as I mentioned before, you have to click on Start from Scratch. You have to choose the model form, and then we can create the form. So this is ActiveCampaign's form builder. So this is the pop-up. But the downside of ActiveCampaign's pop-up feature is that you have no option to, for example, show the pop-up after 3 seconds, for example. The only option you have is a scroll delay. So when someone scrolls your website and then you show the pop-up. So in terms of the settings, it is pretty limited. I also don't see options where I can exclude specific pages like we had inside the Brevo pop-up feature. So who's the winner for the opt-in form features? I would say it's a draw because ActiveCampaign wins with the embedded forms and Brevo offers a better experience with the pop-up forms. But on the other hand, Brevo paywalls the pop-up feature behind the professional plan, which is also a pretty big downside in my opinion. So it's a draw. So both tools offer CRM and sales features. If you want to see the pricing of those features, you have to go to pricing for Brevo, and then you have to scroll down a little bit, and then you have to click on see all features, and then you have to scroll down again. And then a little bit at the bottom of the page over here, we have sales packages, and here you can see the free plan for the sales package. We have the sales essentials and we have the sales advanced. And here we can see all the different features it offers. So similar with ActiveCampaign, we have have the different tiers over here. And if we scroll down over here we have the add-ons. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, we have the pipeline CRM and we have the sales engagement CRM. So these are the different add-ons you can add to your subscription. So for example, if we click on buy now for the plus plan, you can see we have the add-ons over here. And this is the CRM add-on. So for example, let's say we click on add. We can choose to only add the pipelines, or we can add the pipelines and sales engagement. So this is how it works in terms of pricing. And as you can see, Brevo does offer the cheaper pricing. So inside ActiveCampaign, if you click here on deals, here we can see our pipeline immediately. So this is called the pipeline. So we have different stages in the pipeline. So the prospects, talk to sales, partnerships, careers, in contact, follow up. You can also switch to different pipelines. You can create different pipelines. You can obviously rename them, add different stages, remove different stages, change the colors. So for example, I created a coaching pipeline. So we have no call booked, offer made, offer declined, offer accepted, not a good fit. So these are the different stages in the sales process basically. And you can add deals to these different pipelines. Brevo also offers the option to create pipelines. You have to go to CRM and then click on deals. And then over here you can see an example pipeline. So we have the new stage, we have qualifying, demo scheduled, pending, commitment, in negotiation, won, and lost. And we can just simply drag and drop these different so-called deals onto a different stage of the pipeline. If you want to add a new pipeline inside Brevo, you can simply go to the top right corner in your dashboard, click on settings, then go to deals, and then manage your pipeline settings tab over here. And here we can add a new pipeline if we want. We can name the pipeline, add new stages, rename some stages, etc. So after testing both the pipeline features of Brevo and ActiveCampaign, I didn't find any big meaningful differences between how they both work. And this is especially good for Brevo, of course, since it offers the cheaper product. So then the next thing is adding deals to your pipeline. So both platforms work pretty similar here as well. So you can create a deal. So over here you can see the button create a deal. We can click on it so we can add a deal manually, as you can see over here. So I just entered some information over here so we can add a company name. So the deal name, the deal owner, the stage, and what stage you want to add the deal for the pipeline. You can add the amount. You can create a task immediately, a follow-up task, and then you click on create. And then over here you can see that new deal in the pipeline. You can now also see the total amount of this stage inside the pipeline. And similar with ActiveCampaign, we can click here on add a deal. And same here, we can enter some information. So the deal title, the deal value, what pipeline we want to add this deal to, the stage, the deal owner, the close date, etc. And then you're going to click on add a deal. And then as you can see, we have that deal now inside the pipeline. And similar as with Brevo, you can drag this deal around inside the different stages of the pipeline. But that is for manually adding new deals. But you can also create new deals based on an automation, because that's the entire purpose, right? For email marketing automation, you want to automate different processes. So for example, let's say you have a business to business and someone submits a form on your website. You're going to click on save. Then you want to create a deal based on the contact information inside the form. So click on the plus icon, go to CRM, and then the first action item is add a deal. Let's click on that. Then for naming our deal, we can click on this icon over here, click on contact. And then for example, if you ask for the first name on your sign up form, you could choose the first name here. So let's say you're a photographer and the average value of your services, let's say it is $1,000. So the value of this deal is potentially $1,000. Then click on save. So now we are automatically adding a deal when someone submits a form on our website. So this is obviously way better than doing that manually every time. So Brevo also offers this option. So if we go to automation, workflows, create an automation, create from scratch, form submitted, and here you can spot a little difference here within ActiveCampaign and Brevo. So ActiveCampaign offers a little bit more options. So for example, select form, we can just simply choose any form. So these are the little things that make a difference inside ActiveCampaign compared to Brevo. So inside Brevo, we have to select that specific form that we want to use here. It's not a big deal, but it's just those tiny differences. So if you test both platforms individually, you will spot those differences. So if we go to actions, then over here we can create a deal similar as with an ActiveCampaign, create a deal, select the pipeline, select the stage where we want to add the deal. And then over here, we can add something to the deal name. But as you see over here, we cannot add that first name, for example, what we did with an ActiveCampaign. So if we go to that deal creation over here we can create dynamically that first name. We can add that dynamically to the deal title. This is not possible with Brevo. So again, the tiny differences. And then while speaking about automating our CRM and sales stuff, same as before, like how many triggers can we choose from for automating our CRM and sales stuff. So if we go to sales and CRM, here we can see all the different triggers that are related to CRM and sales tasks. And ActiveCampaign offers us 20 different options. Brevo, if we take a look at triggers for Brevo, so here we can see the CRM/deals section for the triggers inside Brevo. And Brevo offers us 9 different options for the different triggers for automating our workflows. So again, ActiveCampaign offers us 20 different options, Brevo 9 different options. Then in terms of actions, so again, the actions over here, what actions can you add to the workflow? If we click on the plus icon here, then click on CRM, and here you can see the different actions. So ActiveCampaign offers us 15 different actions. So for example, complete a deal task, add a deal note, add a deal task, update a custom deal field, update a stage, update a value, etc., etc. So there are many different options, many different things you can automate with ActiveCampaign for CRM and sales stuff. Then we have Brevo, and if we go to actions, and Brevo doesn't offer as many options for actions in terms of CRM and sales stuff. So we can create a deal, duplicate a deal, update the deal attribute, create a task, and that's pretty much it. So you have 4 options within Brevo. So what's the bottom line for CRM and sales features? So Brevo can't match ActiveCampaign's range and flexibility. ActiveCampaign simply provides more triggers, more actions. So should you go with ActiveCampaign or Brevo, it entirely depends on your needs and your situation and your business. But my recommendation is to sign up for ActiveCampaign, the free trial, 14-day free trial. And Brevo also has a free plan, so you can test out their features and see what works best for your business. Do make sure to check out the video description, because I have a discount for Brevo and a nice deal for ActiveCampaign as well. If you have any questions about these 2 tools, you can also email me.